Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Peter here, and it is time for the 55th episode of the PDG Advertising Podcast. And we're really real here this evening in Belfast. You're going to have to excuse me. That is my washing machine on in the background. Here's another professional episode of the PDG Advertising Podcast. But look, it's real, and it's been a long day, a long Monday, and it's been a great day, a great Monday, and it just so happens that it's coming up to 9 o'clock, and just trying to shut this day down. And to do that, the PDG Advertising Podcast is a very important part of it, because last week I promised you guys that we would be doing 5 podcasts across the whole week, and it just ended up only doing one. I don't know, is a podcast every day too ambitious? I'm not convinced it is too ambitious, but just last week was absolutely crazy. There was no way, looking back, that I was going to be able to sustain that. And I suppose it comes down to discipline in terms of what I'm planning out in the day and what I'm getting done and what I'm allowing in, and how I'm managing my time. I guess if I manage my time a little bit better, I'd be able to do a podcast every single day. But here's to tonight's podcast with a washing machine potentially going flat out in the background, and we've got some things to go through. And yeah, let's get into it. So not only do you have the washing machine going in the background, you've also got airplanes flying past. This is the intricacies of living in East Belfast in Northern Ireland. You're right under airplane flight path, and normally I love it. Hearing the airplanes go back and forward, but maybe not so much whenever you're doing episode 55 of the PDG Advertising Podcast. But today was an awesome day. Mondays tend to be really good days at PDG Advertising. I don't think people dread Mondays in the team. I hope they don't, because Mondays is a good day to get us organised for the week ahead, and we always spend about 20, to be honest, it's more like an hour in the morning going over all the things that we're going to do for the week. And just like magic, all the background noise is gone. Just moved to another part of the apartment, and just because, I couldn't even hear myself thinking it. I'm sure that feedback was coming to you guys, or it wasn't, and it just sounds like I'm going crazy. All possible scenarios. But yeah, Monday's a cool day at PDG Advertising. We spend about an hour going over what we're going to do. And that usually involves looking, long term ahead for PDG Advertising, syncing up together with our goals and our pillars for the business, and then looking towards what we're going to do across the next month, and some goals and aspirations, any housekeeping, any team holidays, things like that, and then we go in depth into our customers. And we look at all the tasks that we need to do for the week and make sure that we're all in line to do them. And I don't know, I've been in teams before where there's no team meetings, and it's it's pretty chaotic. And if there's one thing that ruins morale and ruins a nice environment to work in, it's chaos and order, and everybody knowing what they're supposed to be doing is very important. So I really appreciate that the team at PDG Advertising are so keen to do. Our team meeting is it's really cool. Our team meeting is normally at 9 o'clock on a Monday, but the team were usually in like just before 8 o'clock. So we decided, so as not to waste any time, that we would do our team meeting a little bit earlier, at like 8:15, and that was good. We were all ready, and we got through everything quicker, and it probably made the day a lot better and more and calmer. And I think whenever you're doing complex advertising tasks for customers, the more calmer and focused an environment that you can create, the better. And a good structured team meeting is definitely an element of that. As I said, the team meeting, it's got our, what we had done the week before, what we're planning on doing the week ahead, our goals for the month, any housekeeping, our customer round robin, as I would call it, where we go through all our customers and flag any issues and work out what we need to do to give those customers a great experience. And then today we had a couple of points of where we did team one-to-ones. That's another thing I think is really important from a couple of businesses that I've been in that have had them and haven't had them. The ones that have had team one-to-ones and made time for them, like once a month or, even every couple of months, just giving each person that you work with a little bit of time outside of their day to go through any problems that they have and look to see how, they're going to progress within the company and if they've any struggles or any problems. I think it's a really good thing. So we did that today and we planned out our one-to-ones, which was good. And it's all such a far flung place from when it was just me, and building it up to something where we're even having team one-to-ones is a bit surreal, but it feels like the right thing to do from the very start. And as I said to the team, that someday they'll need to do one-to-ones for people that are working with them, and it's a good culture to get started with. I suppose in the team one-to-ones, we're going really deep here on the PDG Advertising Podcast today, but that's a good thing. But in the one-to-ones, we've got things like, how was your month, and what were your high points, what were your low points, what are we going to focus on for the next month, and things like as a manager, like this is talking about me, what can I do to help you do your job better? And I don't know, I'm sure that the one-to-ones I've had before, as in I've been in the one-to-ones where I've been the employee, I'm sure they were better and more structured than that. But I mean, that's a great start for us. If we can get a baseline of just caring about each employee and each team member, then I think that'll stand by us. So I was pretty pleased about that. I would say this, the one thing that we don't do, so these one-to-ones are for core team members. Be careful about how I say that. So core team members are people that work in Belfast, but PDG wouldn't be PDG Advertising without the contractors that we have, like our Google Ads experts, our proofreaders, our connections experts. So, I mean, I've put down on my goals for today to catch up with the whole team, but I didn't just mean the team in Belfast, I did mean the whole team. And I think I've probably failed a little bit in that, because probably have spoken to most of the team members today, but not in a way that says how's things going, more like we've got this to do. So probably need to treat our contractors a little less transactionally and see how we can bring them closer to the core team, because they really do provide an essential service. I mean, there's an example within all of them. I mean, here's two. One, whenever we in the core team create copy or emails, we send it off externally to get proofread. And when our external contractor proofreads them, she sends them back, and it gives us a level of confidence and matches one of our pillars of quality of service for our customers. So that's cool. Then our email developer, so we design up beautiful emails in the in-house in PDG Advertising in the Belfast office, but nobody in the Belfast office can actually code up an email to go into a system like MailChimp. We can create from drag and drop editor, but to create truly beautiful emails, we need a developer, and our developer all the way over in the Philippines, Joe, is just exceptional. Works really quickly for us, and works at strange hours of the day and night to get the job done for us, and does it really professionally. So really appreciate that from him. And then like every single one of our contractors that we have, they don't I've had quite a few contractors over the years at PDG Advertising, and anybody that exists right now working with us has a level of excellence, because We just can't afford to have contractors that aren't up to standard, and the ones that we have now we're very, very happy with and very pleased with. So suppose if you guys are listening right now, thank you, and I'll connect with you all pretty soon. But I suppose, not to labour the point, but we have our core team, and those catch-ups are important, but what's also important is the blend between the core team and the contractor team as well. So part of the secret of our success at PDG Advertising is double checking stuff. Might sound really simple, but it gives you a level of peace of mind. There was definitely an amount of calmness over the office today. Really pleased about that. Sometimes whenever you're working, you're really flat out and you're fast and you're working really hard, and you're probably working smart and hard, but things are going hectically. But whenever that happens, I think mistakes start to get made. So today we got to a level of calm and focus, which was really good. There was a particular project where we were sending out about 20 odd emails, and we went back and forward to make sure that we were getting the right numbers. And I think that's the level of, when I say the right level of numbers, let me explain a little bit. So we were resending out to non-openers of email campaigns. So this meant that we need to verify that the amount of people that we're sending the emails to aren't, that we're not sending an erroneous list or an incorrect list or the wrong company, and any of that stuff. So we double check that every time, because emails are kind of very sensitive. Everything is in terms of communication, but with email it feels like hypersensitive, because once it goes, you're not getting it back, and it has the potential to be a reputation killer. Never mind damaging, the potential to kill the reputation of the person sending the email. It's a sackable thing to send out the wrong email to the wrong person. It's a business reputation killer, and it's something that we take very seriously. So in order to provide that level of quality, we check and double check. So that's something that we were doing today, and working together to check. And I think we're kind of creating an environment that, where we're checking over each other's work and everybody's got their eyes on it, which is good, so that we can be reasonably confident. The way I put it today was we're splitting risk. So if only one person in the office looks at something and it goes out, the risk is that that one person is completely to blame for that issue, and it's just too much for one person. So we split the risk, we hedge our bets, and we ask two people to look at it. And even then, things can still go wrong. If two people look over something, I've seen books that have spelling mistakes in them, and imagine how many times those books before they've gone to publish have been proofread. But it doesn't matter. People can make mistakes, even no matter how many verification checks you go through. But I'm more confident with more verification checks than just one. I think it breaks down some of the opportunities for a mess up or a reputation damaging event, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, bring the best version of our customers out, not do them damage by sending out a silly email on their behalf. Yeah, I think one of the things that we learned this week, something that's very important to us, is reporting for our customers. And we learned this week or last week that a lot of agencies like ourselves, bigger than ourselves, arguably stronger, arguably more I don't know, definitely not better than PDG Advertising. I think we offer a unique insight into results and getting results online, but arguably potentially bigger than PDG Advertising, with better brand awareness and people know about them more. And I think what I've seen is, over the past couple of weeks and goodness, maybe years, is that the one thing that sets us apart is our reporting capabilities. It's very important to us. So we report on everything that we can, that makes sense, and we advise on what to report on. Whenever a customer starts off with us, we start off with like a standard set of reports that have things like web hits in there, or sales made, or emails gathered, or spend, or ROI, those kind of different metrics. But as the relationship grows with the customer, then you need more metrics, because you're you're getting deeper into the business and the mechanics of the business. And I suppose I'm thinking out loud a little bit here, but and I don't know whether it's because there's an engine revving outside, but there's definitely a bike engine revving outside. But the data and the analytics, to me, if you really think about it, is the engine of the business. So, or at least it's a simulation. It's a replication of the engine of the business. So it should be able to show you put in this fuel and this is the result you get. You learn to drive this part of the road. This is how you can get from A to B. If you don't take care of your car or you're reckless on the road with it, this is where you end up. So there's probably some sort of a car engine analogy, I don't know, metaphor or similarity to that. And I don't know how to articulate it really well here, but over time we will articulate that incredibly well. But what I'm trying to say is the ability to take a snapshot of your business at any given time allows you to make good, smart decisions in the future. What I'm seeing across our industry is none of that happening, of people just making guesses, making consistent guesses, and a consistent guess is a consistently bad guess. And what we're trying to do is put a little bit of reason and a bit of thought behind the things that we're doing. And that consistent reporting is very important, and that's something that we'll be keeping up. So I tell you what, if any of our competitors are listening to this, and I don't know if they are, I know that our views and listens have grown over the last while. We've grown our estimated audience a fair bit across the last few podcasts. I don't know whether it's because I'm doing less of them or whether we're just starting to build up some momentum. Whatever it is, thank you. And every person that gets this far and listens to one of our podcasts, I really appreciate it. But if any of our competitors are listening, and I hope that we can look back on this someday and I'm right, and I think we will be. We're using this technology called SEMrush, SEMrush, RUSH, and that stands for Search Engine Marketing Rush, I think. I don't really know, but it's this cool technology, and I've really been getting into it over the last few days because there's a competitive side of me coming out now, and I'm really enjoying it, where I see where we are on Google, and we're not anywhere. 2 weeks ago, we were something like 78th for digital marketing or digital advertising agency in Belfast. And I can't live with that. So I needed to do something about it. So I've started to really learn and understand what it takes to get up in our rankings. So in those 2 weeks, I've managed to drive us up to page 2 for one of our search terms and page 3 and page 4 for most of our other ones, which is quite a jump from where we were. But then again, we weren't doing much. I can now see the things that I need to do to drive us up past our current competition. And there's about 5 different agencies in Northern Ireland that are number 1 on those pages. And from what I can see, there's only one that actually is intentionally number 1 on those pages. The rest of them are just there by kind of default. And our aim is to take over them take over all of them to get to number 1 in the next few weeks. I mean, with SEO, it's not something traditionally that we would be known for as an agency, but it is certainly something I feel we're pretty good at, and something that if we can take over those, then we can say, look, well, for our keywords, we're number 1, and we're actually dominating in the list of people that are doing it. So if you're any of my competitors, and the likelihood is that you probably don't even know who I am right now, but you soon will, because we'll be driving to take over that first page of digital advertising in Belfast. And I really want to remember what episode this is, 55, so that I can do a quick I don't know what it would be, a throwback Monday or something, to put this audio side by side with we're now number 1 in Belfast for digital advertising. But here's what'll happen then. As soon as we're number 1 there, we're not going away anywhere. We're going to cement our position as number 1 there. because we're going to blast that all over the Belfast internet, all over the Northern Ireland internet, and then my sites are going to be set on Dublin and London, potentially just Northern Ireland first, and then down to Dublin or down to any number of the cities down south to try and dominate those areas, and then into the UK. And here's the deal. Why would you be telling the whole world this? Firstly, because our readership is so small, readership or listenership. So that's number one. Second is, if there was a competitor listening to this, I revel in the challenge of someone trying to stop us from doing that. And I think that would make it more fun and more exciting. And I know that because there's a massive smile on my face now as I think about us working to dominate that front page of the Belfast digital landscape. So everyone, as I said, there's been a few more people that have started to listen to this PDG Advertising Podcast. That was episode 55. If you go way back and you listen to episode 1, you'll hopefully see some level of difference in how it's delivered and how we're doing it. We've got big plans for the podcast, but 55 episodes in is pretty cool. And, we're doing it because it's a great journal to keep of our work, and someday, who knows, it could be looked back on as the guidebook on, could be looked back on in two ways. One, as the way to create a digital advertising agency and become number one in the world, or two, how to really do it badly, how to fade into insignificance. I know what path I'm focused on for that, but I really look forward to our next episode. I really want to promise that it's going to be tomorrow, but just worried that after last week that we're not going to achieve that. So I'll leave that reservation, until our next episode. And if it's tomorrow, then great. I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch of content for it. But if not, then I will speak to you next time. And thanks to all our new listeners. Love you to subscribe on whatever channel it is you're listening on, YouTube, Spotify, whatever it is, or leave us a comment or send in any questions that you'd like answered. We'd love to do that.